Now 6:44 here on your Tuesday. We're an hour ahead of the time in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This is a live look at the Republican National Convention location. Ahead of day two getting started, day one included the announcement of J.D. Vance as Donald Trump's running mate. Of course, something we will continue to be on top of.
Yeah, a lot coming out of there already. We have team coverage of the reaction coming up. But first, talking about today being a weather impact day.
Yes. So, Katie, let's start with what's left overnight of that severe storm system that went through the Midwest. That has been weakening, and it's kind of been holding off getting into the region that we're in.
Yeah, so we've been seeing some spotty showers with that this morning, but it's nothing too impactful. I think behind it later this afternoon and into the evening, we're going to be seeing some downpours and the threat for some very heavy rain overnight tonight. So concerns for stronger storms not over here, but anything that we see this morning, again, some scattered light rain, primarily contained to our southeast Indiana communities. Mostly seeing that rainfall across Fayette County, trying to make its way into places like Ripley and Franklin County. But worst of this line continues further south. We've been seeing ongoing flash flooding with that. Still have some strong winds, torrential rainfall and frequent lightning. But you can see here more of a southerly movement versus easterly here as we go through the morning. So a chance for this northern part of the line to continue to clip us with some showers, but I think a better shot at some wet weather later today, some stronger thunderstorms, and again, potential for some gusty winds. We're looking at a threat for some flooding today as well. We have a flood watch in place for the WLWT viewing area from noon today until tomorrow night. So repeated rounds of heavy rain and storms are expected starting this afternoon. I think the biggest concern is going to be overnight tonight while we sleep, when some very torrential rainfall will be pushing into the area. So over the next 12 hours here, fairly dry this morning. Not everybody escaping the rain, but that heat index between storms could reach 100. I think this model overestimating it a bit, but very hot day today with storms starting to pop up after 3 o'clock. We'll have a timeline for those storms coming up in Futurecast.
All right, Katie, thank you. I just got a text from my husband about golf league tonight, so I'll have him tune into you. He'll trust you more than he trusts me anyway. Let's take a look at traffic. Things are looking good out there for the most part. Starting to see some increased traffic pickup here over on 471. So if you are a Campbell County commuter, you may notice some slow spots heading over the bridge there. They are doing some work on that bridge overnight. Should have been wrapped up at about 5 o'clock this morning, but we are seeing some slow spots leading up to that. Otherwise, some more people heading in on 74. The 275 loop starting to see some increased traffic. We do, it looks like, have a situation here. Broken down vehicle off to the left-hand shoulder right near Hopple Street. Obviously, that exchange gets pretty busy as well, with more people switching lanes, trying to figure out where they're heading downtown. But most of our travel time still in the green, as you can see. Most end of towns not looking like anything major going on, and hopefully that continues through the morning. But we're here should anything change.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to announce that Senator J.D. Vance has the overwhelming support of this convention to be the next Vice President of the United States.
After months of speculation, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance selected as former President Trump's running mate. The announcement came after the roll call of states which officially nominated Donald J. Trump as the Republican nominee for president. Now, if the pair win, J.D. Vance would be the third youngest vice president in history.
And the reactions keep pouring in surrounding Donald Trump's pick. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle speaking out after the announcement. WLWT News 5's Danielle Dindak live for us this morning with how some of our local lawmakers and candidates feel about this pick. Danielle.
Megan, much of the conversation surrounds Senator Vance's age. Some are actually happy to see a younger candidate on the ticket. And when it comes to the right side, some are praising the pick, saying Vance's upbringing in our era gives him a unique perspective on the demographics of the battleground states like Ohio. Now, on the left, many are saying the senator is too divisive, noting how Vance immediately took to social media after the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. Cincinnati Congressman Greg Landsman is even saying that Vance is more of a flamethrower than a unifier. Now, Vance's current term isn't over until 2028. So if the Trump-Vance ticket wins in November, that means that there will be an open Senate seat. Then that decision goes into the hands hands of Governor Mike DeWine of who should fill that seat, and then there will be a special election, but that won't be until 2026. Reporting live this morning, Danielle Dindak, WLWT News 5.
Danielle, thank you. And excitement mounting in Middletown as residents weigh in on J.D. Vance's VP potential. His speedy rise up the ranks within the Republican Party being deemed a rags to riches story. WLWT News 5's Giacomo Luca joining us from Middletown with the reaction from locals there. Giacomo.
Yeah, Kelly, his humble beginnings, his military experience, and then that nomination from Donald Trump propelling him to the U.S. Senate seat for Ohio. Now J.D. Vance getting that GOP VP ticket. That nomination certainly putting Middletown in the spotlight today and could have further impacts for the region.
We're always trying to get more people to come to Ohio. We're trying to grow our economy here, grow our businesses, and I think J.D. being vice president will do all of those things.
Now, you might remember J.D. Vance had early criticism of Trump, but back in May, he did help raise millions of dollars for the Trump campaign at that special Indian Hill fundraiser, as well as discussion during the former president's visit to Cincinnati. Meanwhile, Vance's nomination certainly bringing a lot of spotlight to the city of Middletown, and many folks here are looking forward to his leadership during this tense political season. Live in Middletown this morning, Giacomo Luca, WLWT News 5.
Giacomo, thank you. We continue to lead the way through the Republican National Convention and into the heart of the 2024 campaign. Things obviously ramping up. You can find out the latest on J.D. Vance as well on our website, WLWT.com. And our coverage of the convention continues out of Milwaukee. WLWT News 5's anchor Mike Dardis is there. He will bring us live reports throughout the day. Make sure you stay with us on air and online at WLWT.com.
In Commitment 2024, as we continue, President Joe Biden sat down for an exclusive interview with NBC News. The president addressed the accusations he may have contributed to harmful rhetoric leading up to the assassination attempt against former President Trump.
Look, how do you talk about the threat to democracy, which is real, when a president says things like he says? Do you just not say anything because it may incite somebody? Look, I have not engaged in that rhetoric. Now, my opponent is engaged in that rhetoric. He talks about there'll be a bloodbath if he loses. Talking about how
we heard a similar concern about rhetoric following the January 6th siege. One of the arguments in Democrats' efforts to impeach Trump was his command of a crowd of supporters to, quote, fight like hell. At the time, Trump's lawyers argued that the word fight is commonly used in political speech.
The Florida judge overseeing Donald Trump's classified documents trial dismissed the case against the former president. The judge issued an almost 100-page-long decision calling the appointment of and funding for special counsel Jack Smith unlawful and unconstitutional. Through a spokesman for the special counsel, they will appeal the decision, but even if a higher court reinstates the indictment, a trial before November's election is highly unlikely. A full slate of events kicks off downtown today, promoting collaboration between professionals within the Black community. Black Tech Week is a growing event for our region. WLWT News 5's Richard Childs is live downtown with what you can expect this week. Richard.
Now, Stephen, 3 days of innovation, great conversations talking about Black Tech Week, which will be moving in here at the Aronoff Center, getting started at 9 o'clock this morning. This effort certainly focusing on the next generation of technology. AI certainly a part of that big conversation that will be hosted. Now, this event over the last 10 years, in fact, had an economic impact annually of about $10 million. Organizers anticipate the same type of events. Now, some of the notable celebrity speakers today include three-time NBA champion turned venture capitalist Danny Green, along with best-selling author and CEO Michael Phillips, also speaking today. Then the keynote speaker, filmmaker Anna DuVernay, will speak on Thursday, which is the final day for panels and discussions. Now, this first of 3 days, again, getting started at 9 o'clock this morning here at the Aronoff Center. The economic impact that we've seen, $10 million. Last year, organizers anticipate twice that much again to be impacted in the region this year. Reporting live this morning from downtown at the Aronoff Center, Richard Childs, WLWT News 5.
All right, Richard, thank you. And hey, if you're looking for a good deal, listen up here. Amazon's 10th Prime Day event is happening today and tomorrow. It's a 2-day summer sale, promises millions of deals from electronics and kitchen appliances to apparel and beauty products. Tomorrow morning, we're taking you inside our local Amazon facility at CVG, showing you the process from clicking checkout to, of course, that package arriving at your door.
They haven't heard me about dropping the price of the PS5. Yeah. Say it again. Drop the price. Sorry, $654. The Reds are off for the next couple of days for the MLB All-Star break, but you could see a pair of your favorite players on the diamond tonight. We could see action from Hunter Green on the mound and Elly De La Cruz in the field as they are down in Texas for the Midsummer Classic. The MLB All-Star game is tonight at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. First pitch is scheduled for 8 p.m. After that, it is back to work for the Reds. They go to Washington to take on the Nationals in a 3-game series. That'll start on Friday.
And we have all of your big stories, plus what you need to know to start your day on our daily podcast, 5 on 5 in 5. And right now, we're going to get a check on traffic as you do get ready to head out the door. Kelly, how are things looking?
Things are looking good. You know, Stephen, maybe not the PS5, but they do have headphones on a good sale. And I think, as everyone around here at the office knows, he needs new ones.
All right. Already.
As we take a look at traffic, I'm just stirring the pot here. You can see the Cut in the Hill looking good right now here, 7175. No major issues if you're coming in from the Kenton County, Boone County side of town. But if you're coming in from Campbell County, looks like really slow traffic coming in on 471. Going to take a look at that closer and see if something specifically is causing that or it's just some increased traffic there. But we don't normally see that much of a slowdown on 471 at this hour. Otherwise, 275 loop looking good. Travel times as well looking good. We do have a broken down vehicle right at Hopple Street on 75. So that's southbound. Again, not causing a major problem, but that's a busy interchange. So just be aware of it. Katie?
All right, we'll take you out to our radar. Whole WLWT viewing area dry with the exception of Fayette County. We have some scattered light showers there. It's part of a line of storms that continues to drop off to the south. It was very destructive overnight. We're still seeing some strong storms on the southern end of that, but may get clipped with, again, a few additional light showers this morning across southeast Indiana. Better shot at some storms later on today. We are looking at flooding concerns as we go through today and into tomorrow. Whole area under a flood watch through Wednesday night. So again, think model overdoing the rain a little bit this morning. In fact, a lot of it. Looking at some scattered showers at least through the late morning and then drying out for a time before things start to redevelop into the afternoon. So I think much like yesterday, could see a handful of strong, maybe severe storms with gusty winds, but a bigger push of very heavy rain moving in as you go through the overnight. It's going to be after 11 o'clock, but causing some flash flooding issues through tomorrow. We will see additional scattered storms as we go into Wednesday afternoon. Once the cold front passes, beautiful weather, low 80s to upper 80s to near seasonal, low humidity. Looks like our next chance of rain is going to be next Monday.
All right, Katie, thank you so much. Things do shape up nicely once we get through this weather. The Today Show is just minutes away.
We're back in 25 minutes with more news, weather, and traffic. Have a great Tuesday. We'll see you here in a minute.